Alright, hello, Mr. Fox here. And, so I kind of forgot entirely about this game for a good 2 weeks. I've been playing Pillars of Eternity 2. Um, yeah, I, 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 I did forget to, check Khalil, like, what she randomized into last time. Here she is. I went ahead and gave Soren a few bonus experience levels to promote, and Khalil's just stats wise she's better. Technically, she's probably still worse because she's a sword locked infantry unit with no skills. But you know, I am enjoying her. I did give Volk Luna. I also gave Mordecai Provoke. Who else did I mess with? Oh, I gave Adept a lot. I think that was it. Oh yeah, I also took away Gamble from Janov because I was not ever going to use it. Oh, you have a smite. Okay. I didn't do a whole lot of inventory management, as you can tell. I kind of just wanted to get in, do the things. Why does it have more weight? I mean, hit rate. It's just the steel sword is just better. The steel blade, I mean. In any case, yeah, apologies for forgetting for 2 weeks, but I have noticed that the last episode hasn't gotten any views yet. So that's interesting. Uh, I don't really have a whole lot to talk about. Oh, I guess I can quickly run over. Tyronio has become a Wyvern Lord. We have so many Wyverns in this run. And then Anna is a Paladin. Okay. She's looking quite strong. And then Kasatai is a Brave Bow Paladin. So he's gonna be fun to deal with. At least I have a bunch of full guards. They're not on everyone because I don't have enough for that, but I have full guards. Ooh, do not want to do that. Also, I might actually be quieter than normal, at least like pre-editing, because I have a headset on, so I can hear this. Yeah. Yeah, I have been, like, my mind has been entirely on Pillars 2 right now, lately. For better or for worse. Open the door. I am a little surprised that Khalil became a Swordmaster and actually has good stats. I never used Khalil. Unless, like, other mages have died. Um, yeah. I will eventually be done with this playthrough. Eventually. I'm not really planning on recording more than one episode today because I do want to get back to playing Pillars 2. It's a fun game, and somehow I've managed to still be obsessed after restarting like 4 different times because of wanting to test things or deciding I want to not use any of the like base companions and make all of them myself or whatever else. I decided that for this playthrough, just even though it's like my first one that I'll be finishing, I won't be allowed to have achievements because I used the console commands to give myself, like, I changed one of my custom companions into a Priest of Vermidon. Because Vermidon is kinda cool. And I like ice-themed things, so Priests of Remirgon getting a bunch of ice spells is very pleasant. Also, I didn't want to have to wait until I got to like level 13 or 14 in order to recruit Vatnir. What? I appreciate that you don't want to get slowed down by your magic, ma'am, but like, could we have more magic and speed? Magic units are just kind of so bad in this game. Like, it's kind of offset in the base game because all the magic units have really good magic growths, or at least workable magic and speed growths combined to actually be pretty good units, but like, at least I force them to be good units. I don't give them the option not to be, but when your mages are cosplaying as generic units, they certainly become a lot less workable. Oh, okay, well, that was entirely unnecessary, but you go, dude. Also, I think my sinuses are being a little funky. Not sure, but yeah. Bonk. Dragons are so slow. I wish I had the option to hold down the A button and just make them move faster. Alright, love to see the magic when the magic bow was not fully implemented into the game. It's in the files, apparently, but they never, like, actually implemented the weapon. Oh, I forgot I had a ward staff on him. I am trying to make sure Ike levels up his axe rank, because axes are just better. I do appreciate having a billion flying units. Are you getting put to sleep, sir? Okay, thank you for dodging. Hello, you're a sword master. You're supposed to be a little dodgier than that, man. I am still kind of curious, like, when the next assuming there's going to be another Fire Emblem, when it eventually happens, I'm curious what it'll end up being. That I want to move you as much as I can, but I don't want you to get hit. That's... I guess I could just do something like this. And just watch as Mordecai invalidates the entire reason why he would want to use a mage against an armored unit. Because he just hits that hard. Alright. Her speed's the same no matter which weapon I put on her. Get a crit. I mean, you are actually pretty slow for a sword master. Okay, nice. We got speed. Titania's still an absolute physical tank. A dog is being needy. It's always so weird doing these videos, because, like, I never have things to talk about. Like, there's no, like, news within Fire Emblem. I don't know what to talk about with Radiant Dawn, because I spoke so much in the earlier videos. I haven't really left much for me to say. Man, why are you so slow? Oh, good job, Janos. And I'll try to get through this chapter fairly quickly. Partially just because I'm pretty sure my stepdad does not work today. So unlike the last few days, I don't have all day to use the computer. I lost out on the day of using the computer because like I was trying to play a game on the computer, but it has frame drops as it is. And he had his computer set to render 10 different videos, and it took until the next day for it to finally finish. I was very annoyed. I have a better axe for her now. I should probably buy things more often. But I do have a tendency to, like, neglect to buy new equipment. For some reason. I have zero explanation. It's just a thing I tend to do. Okay, girl, you don't need strength. You have enough. Yeah, Kasatai, you're not, like, exiting this place alive. I simply will not allow it. I'm actually surprised that hit. I will take that. Is not where I'm going to put him. I just need to make sure to get rid of these bishops so they don't use their magic in order to ruin my day. I think this guy was originally a bishop with a sleep staff, and he is now a Brave Lance paladin who will drop the Brave Lance for me. I appreciate that. And of course, I have to have Volk go and steal everything, which does technically cost money. I'm glad Volk is able to steal stuff, since, nobody else is a thief. Probably for the best. Because thieves don't promote in this game. Volk is a special case. No damage. Yep, there they are. Please, attack Mordecai. I apologize for all the silence in this video. I guess I can briefly mention that, so I am, of course, someone who makes a lot of concepts for things, because I am a font of ideas. And I have a couple of Paladins videos, plus plenty of clips from both Overwatch and Paladins on my channel. So I started concepting a hero shooter that numbers-wise is nearly identical to Overwatch. You know, like default HP for a non-tank is 200. Default movement speed is 5.5 meters per second. That type of thing. Just because, I don't know, I want to work with those numbers. I'm more familiar with working with the Paladins numbers from my extensive concepting in Paladins, but I want to use if my brain would function. I want to use the Overwatch numbers because I do like smaller numbers. Like, technically I have a lot of room to work with when using when using Paladins numbers. Like in Paladins, as the default health is basically 2,200. So there's a lot more numbers between 0 and 2,200 than there are between 0 and 200. But I do want to, I am using Overwatch numbers for this idea. I've also split the tank, DPS, and support roles into 2 different roles each. Tanks become defenders and bruisers, with defenders having more survivability, ways to block damage like with shields and off-brand defense matrix, but not having as much damage, and generally having more in the way of area damage than direct damage. Generally. Emphasis on generally. That was the original intent, but it's not quite turning out that way. And then bruisers aren't quite as tanky as defenders, and they don't hit quite as hard as DPS, but they're the heavier hitting tanks. They're your off tanks, basically. I just realized less swords around. Anyway, DPS are split into strikers and controllers. Strikers deal direct damage primarily, or exclusively in most cases, as it stands. And controllers are the same, but inverted. They do mostly area damage, with only one of them having direct damage. But strikers do generally more damage per hit, because they're only attacking one person at a time. It would be kind of scary, it'd be spooky, if the controllers did just as much damage. Of course, this theoretical game would be 1-1-1-1-1-1, 66 with one person of each role per team, so you can't double up on anything. Supports get split into healers and enchanters. Now, originally the idea was going to be 5v5, and supports and tanks are both 1 role each, with it being 2 defenders, a controller, a striker, and a supporter. But then I decided I wanted to split the support role, both because I ended up splitting the tank role first, and then I was just like, well, if you're coming from Overwatch, you have 6 options for tank, 6 options for DPS, and only 3 options for supports, because that was how many characters I was making originally. But then, but then I also decided that I didn't want to have every support able to give good healing, because it kind of just felt redundant because of the guidelines I was putting on myself. So I split the role, and now we have healers who focus primarily on healing and can have some amount of utility, and enchanters who are mostly utility with a little bit of healing sometimes. 2 of them, as it stands, are able to heal. The other 2, I took away one's ability to heal, and the remaining one, I just, they were designed without the ability to heal. Well, okay, wait, no. Only one is fully incapable of healing. The other one that was intended with no healing options technically does have healing on their ult. It's just they don't have consistent healing. It's only in their ult. And that character, too, specifically can only heal during their ultimate. It's supposed to have similar theming and vibes to Kiriko. But instead of, so they do still have the ninja theming and the fox spirit and all that, but they're more similar to, their primary fire does have Kiriko's kunai as a baseline, but then the other abilities, one of them is also based off of Swift Step, but the other 2 are more like Zenyatta's Harmony Orb or Discord Orb, except you can only have 1 active at a time. The basic rundown is the primary fire is basically Kiriko's kunai normally, but with shurikens, and it fires slightly faster, and you can charge it in order to make the shuriken bigger, which increases its damage and its hitbox, and if you charge it halfway or more, then it'll pierce enemies, but not shields. So, and it'll also lose the ability to headshot if it gets to that point. Which I am pleased with. The abilities 1 and 2 are they're you send your Fox Spirit to either an ally or an enemy based off which button you press, and it'll increase or decrease damage dealt by 20% and decrease or increase damage taken by 10% from every source except for poison, because of how I classified things. Of course, the spirit can only be attached to one person at a time, so you can either buff an ally or debuff an enemy. It has no cooldown, and if you choose a new target while you already have the fox on someone, the fox will move from the original target instead of from you. Just visual things. Then their movement ability, it only travels 2/3 the distance of Kiriko's Swift Step, but it's made up by the fact that okay, so you can teleport just anytime. You don't need anyone in order to teleport normally, but you can teleport further than normal if you hold down the button, which will let you like if you charge it for a minimum of 1 second plus half a second for every 10 meters past 30, you can teleport directly to whoever your spirit is attached to. Which I do admit does mean that the character can technically just teleport to an enemy. Just be like, hello, I'm here to fight you. But considering that that is their only mobility, I think it's more or less fair. They don't have any self-healing or anything like that. So if they do decide to teleport directly to an enemy, they're putting themselves in a lot of danger. Anyway, their ultimate, they charge up a primary fire more or less like normal, but their Fox Spirit returns to them and then goes into the big shuriken. Then when they throw it, they can hold down the ultimate button in order to steer it. Just in whichever direction your camera is pointing, it'll go that way, as if your camera was originating wherever it was, if that makes any sense at all. It cleanses negative effects and prevents them for 2 seconds on allies while also giving them a bit of healing over time. It's 60% over 3 seconds. And then enemies hit will have positive effects nullified and prevented for 2 seconds, and they'll take a pretty sizable chunk of damage. The projectile, when steered, is slower than it is otherwise, but its base movement speed before you start steering it is the same as the fully charged shuriken normally, which is still slower than like an uncharged shuriken. Yeah, they're kind of my favorite concept so far. Just because foxes, and also I just like the way they turned out. And I'm honestly a little surprised that that's my favorite enchanter, because another enchanter is a character that I have had in my back pocket for a long time. Like, I've had that character for a while. But yeah, I'm definitely enjoying making this idea of mine. It'd be cool if I could make it actually become a thing, but I doubt that'll ever happen. Imagine doubling a door. Just making Volt's job a little easier for later. Good job, Toil. That is entirely unnecessary, Stefan. I think my favorite striker out of the group is, originally I really liked the first one I made, who was technically a port of a paladin's concept. It's not the only one who is. That one can summon a ghost panther and has a bow that they can charge up to do more damage, which is technically they're shooting extra projectiles, but they all travel in one clump, so it doesn't really matter that there are multiple projectiles under like 99% of circumstances. But if you combo a fully charged primary fire with an attack from the Ghost Panther, you just one-shot people. They have a bit of stealth, and they can put an AoE on the ground that creates a it applies 60% anti-healing and stuff like that. I enjoy it. But I think I prefer the striker who is primarily melee, but has a stun ability that has okay-ish range. And then they can my brain isn't working. Okay, she's a melee character, and she can stun people, and she also has a hit scan attack that, it drops Shock Pulse in Paladins. It's like that. It's a chain thing where you hit one person and it bounces. If there's only 2 targets, it can deal 120 damage to each. It's a total of 240 damage per cast, but of course split across minimum of 2 people. Which I enjoy that. But also they have, well, she has a self buff that makes her move faster and take less damage. And then her ultimate can be used with as little as 10% more charge, and it increases your damage dealt with your next primary fire attack by anywhere between 20 and 200. Anyway, I like concepting, and I like talking about them. I mean, that is what I did for the entire last episode, if I remember correctly. I just spoke about my Paladins concepts for like 30 minutes, or however long it was. I mean, this video is 40 minutes, so I assume it was like 40 minutes of that. Because I spent the entire video talking about it. Hello. You are trying to stab Nephilim. I feel sorry for you almost. Poor Mordecai. He's not able to catch up. He's too slow. Thank you for the Brave Lance. I'm not sure who can actually use it, but I thank you nonetheless. Oh, it's B rank, so I'm pretty sure, like, everyone here can use it. Everyone who has lances can use it. Wonderful. Why not give it to Ike? Okay, they can attack around A. And that guy can attack A. Which is fine. If I do this, I can drop Mist and range that one. It's gonna take so long to get Volt to open everything and steal all the stuff. I'm still waiting for someone to be a Heron, if I even get one. Like, there's... Hara's still a Wyvern Rider, Wyvern Lord, if I remember correctly. And then there's... I'm pretty sure Ronald is either a Sage or a Paladin. Nasir is also a Sage or a Paladin, if I remember correctly. I don't know what Alencia is going to be. So this is like Alencia, Joffrey, Bastion, and Lucia, I think. I think those are the only characters that I get who we haven't already seen, like, what they do. Oh, and Largo. Imagine if Largo's a Heron. That will be the absolute wildest thing. Oh wow, Killing Edge. I didn't realize I was gonna drop it. I don't want you to crit, so please don't. Thank you, Nathalie. You'll level up soon. 2 damage. Yeah, and then these guys are easy to deal with. They're armored units. Armored units are pretty much always easy to deal with unless they're like super tanky and you have absolutely no one who's actually able to do damage. Fortunately, I have a billion Wyvern Lords. For reasons that confound me. I don't know why the game decided that I needed all of these wyvern lords. I'm not necessarily complaining, but I am very confused. Oh, we love the empty doorway. The empty room. Anyway. Break that door. Slowly. Slowly break that door. I was actually gonna play Pose of Eternity 1 before Pose of Eternity 2, but I've played through the beginning of that game so many times on Xbox, and I don't have it in me. Maybe eventually, but I do really like the multi-classing system and the constantly regenerated resources in Pillars 2. Like, mages don't have to worry about like running out of weapons. Like, I mean, spellcasts. Like, that's just not a thing in Pillars 2. I mean, like, in the middle of battle, sure, but there's also the empower mechanic, which kind of makes that a moot point. And also, so my team in Pillars 2 right now is, the main character is an island Almala named Hamu. It's Kamu. Yeah, Kamu. And, you know, he's here, he's doing things. He's a druid. Specifically a fury druid. Which means, he gets a lot of lightning magic. He can't heal anyone, but he is able to summon things still, which is pleasant. He doesn't have to be healing, like, 2 other characters can heal him. So his lack of supportive capability is fine. He's here to cause death and destruction. He does have the Whispers of the Endless Paths greatsword, but he doesn't use it very often. He's the only one here who uses two-handed weapons, but he doesn't really need the, he doesn't really use it all that often, because he's normally just using a bunch of spells and then spirit shifting into a Stormblight and shooting lightning at people. I did give him Wild Strike Freeze, so he does a bit of ice damage alongside shock damage. It is mildly annoying when I fight, like, cave grubs, because he can't really do much, because he mostly uses shock magic. So he's over here like, I am not able to properly contribute to this battle. But then, party member 2 is, I think I named him Boric. He's a mountain dwarf. I think he's a mountain dwarf. But he's a crusader, so he's an unbroken fighter / shield bearer of Saint Elga paladin. So he's extremely tanky, and he has greater lay on hands and stuff. So like he's really good at staying alive and helping everyone else stay alive. And I also got him a shield that gives a defensive bonus to nearby allies, so even more refusal of death. I love it. Then we have the Priestess of Re-Randomised. I don't remember her name. What was her name? I don't... Helen, that's what it is. And she is, of course, a pale elf from the Light That Lends. Oh. Okay. Anyway, yeah, she's the healer of the party, but she does do plenty of ice damage, plus a bit of corrode, and then yeah, that's like she uses spiritual weapon in order to just cause mass destruction, you know, as one does. Well, not mass destruction, but like she does hit pretty hard, which is very pleasing. She does have Spell Shaper, so she is fully capable of, like just doing pretty good damage and stuff. It's nice. I like it. Then I have a ranger. She's also pale elf. I don't remember. What was her? Kalira, I think was her name. And her animal companion is a wolf named Blythe. She's using the Frostseeker bow, which is like my favorite weapon ever, because it shoots 3 arrows that, I mean, they're a little weaker than regular arrows, but like she is also a ranger who's able to make her attacks bounce. It's all very wonderful, and I enjoy having her. There goes Zena. That was fast. Anyway, yeah, so the ranger is doing plenty of damage. And the wolf is very useful. Then the last person in the party, whose name I legitimately do not remember, is a moon godlike wizard, blood mage specifically. She is the like heaviest hitter. It takes her a bit to cast her spells, but when she gets those spells off, she gets them off. I really like doing Pool of Aora plus Ninigot's Shadow Flame. Pull the enemies together and then hit them with frost damage and paralyze them. Perfect. I don't have chess keys with me, so I am literally going to have both open and turn, open, rescue, move, and then repeat. The thief! I didn't realize there was a thief on turn 19. Oh yay, Thoron. Nephany cannot use that because leveling up her Thunder Tome rank is apparently taking a while. Anyway, another one of my very enjoyed spells from my wizard is Ninigot's Death Ray, because it's Ray of Flame, Fire Ray. Ray of Fire, except it doesn't do damage to allies, and it's raw damage instead of flame damage. So there's literally no way to like prevent the damage. I mean, I guess there's probably technically ways to prevent it, but like there's no way to resist the damage, from my understanding, which is very pleasant. Oh, this is already an hour-long video, and I literally have only been playing the chapter. Like, I didn't do any of the preps on camera. This is truly a Fire Emblem moment. Clash is gonna be something else when I eventually get to that. I don't think I'm gonna use... The Master Seal is gonna be completely useless, pretty much, so it can be money. Alright, let's finish this. Now that I have all the things. And that marks the end of the video. Just under an hour. Good grief. I will hopefully remember this weekend to record another episode. If not, hopefully I will notice once 2 weeks have passed. Like I did this time. Anyway, adios.